Miss, I can't hear you.
Marwa?
Yeah. Miss, after hiccups, there must be a period.
Good, you need an end mark. Okay, the sentence does not have an end mark, okay? Each sentence must end in a punctuation. And here, your end mark is a period. Of course, you need to insert a period at the end of the sentence because this is a declarative sentence. Any other mistakes you see, Marwa?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Is really the correct choice of word? Should we use really here? What does the word really mean? Who can help me? And I need you guys to check on the spelling of the word hiccups. Okay, so I gave you guys a hint. 2 mistakes, but I need someone to explain them to me. First of all, is the word really the correct choice to be used here? Or should we replace it with another word? Ahmed Sabit, please explain. What does really mean? When you say really, what does it mean?
It is an adjective that describes something like it's similar to very.
Okay, so it's like basically saying that something is real, right? Something is genuine. Okay? Like when I say this is real leather, that means it's genuine, it's authentic. But here, am I trying to say that the hiccups are real hiccups, genuine hiccups, or I'm trying to show the extent of how bad it is? Here, I'm trying to show the extent of how bad the hiccups are. So I'm not really using the word really in a sense of like true or something that is real or authentic. I want to say that it was the extent of it is bad. So what should I replace really with?
Very.
Very good job. All right. So really is incorrect. We should substitute it with very bad. Okay, very is the proper adverb to show the extent of how bad it was. All right, and what about the spelling of hiccups? Della, can you please spell hiccups for us correctly?
It should have a double C.
A double C in hiccups. Good. Hicc.
UPS.
Good. Hiccups, the correct spelling is with a double C, hiccups. All right. Thank you. All right. Number 2. I think my dad is our local baseball team loyalist fan. All right, Muhammad Walid, please.
Um, uh, is locally,
Local. Okay, spelled wrong. Good. How do you spell local?
local, uh, is locally baseball team loyalist fan.
All right, how would you spell local, honey?
With ly at the end.
Say that again.
With an ly at the end.
No, you shouldn't change it to locally. We're discussing our local baseball team. That means the baseball team is local, okay? It's not something that is very well known. It's a local baseball team. So there's something wrong with the spelling. You don't have to change it to locally. No, it's just local, but it's spelled wrong. What is the correct spelling for local? Can you help him? Can you help him, Zina?
Yes, okay. Local isn't with a K, it's only L-O-C-A-L.
L-O-C-A-L. Good job. All right.
Yes, hello. Is the
Is
yeah,
there
okay.
what? Guys, I can't hear you. Say that again. All right, any other mistakes that we see? Hello? Guys, please. Word.
Baseballs should be removed.
All right, so I think my dad is our local team loyalist fan. You want to change, you want to remove the word baseball?
Miss, there's no wrong stuff in the sentence.
There's no what?
It's right.
Miss, can I answer?
Okay, go ahead. Guys, please answer. I hear you.
Hello.
Miss, can I answer?
Go ahead, Ward, please.
The apostrophe S in baseballs should be removed.
Good. Good. Where should you put the apostrophe S?
In team.
Good. All right, you're trying to show the ownership to the team. Good. All right. Teams. All right, remove it from baseball. Good. What else? Another mistake?
Miss, can I answer?
Sure.
It's not loyalists.
Good. It should be
Lowest.
Most loyal, correct?
Yes, correct.
All right, good. All right, guys, thank you for that. For here, for number 3, 4, and 5, please do that on your own for homework. Okay, I'm gonna post this on SMS. If not, copy them down or take a picture of it now, or I'll post it on Facebook for you guys to finish it off for homework, okay? All right, it's 3, 4, and 5. So in order us to save time, because we between the connection and it takes a lot of time to answer that. All right, so back to our reading. You guys had reading to do for homework, and it was basically to finish off the story. And yesterday we went over your vocab sheet. You guys had one sheet to finish. A lot of you guys sent it. Some of you guys didn't yet. So please do that. Okay. Today I'm gonna finish reading the last portion of the
I
story.
send it to you.
Today I'm going to
I send all of my homework.
Miss, I did it, but I didn't send it. So I will send it now.
it's okay.
Miss, I send it to you.
Send it whenever you can. It's okay, no problem. All right, so let's pick up.
Saturday?
So we know things are getting more difficult for.
Miss, did you have my sheet?
We see that things are getting more difficult for Victor to pretty much you know, find Teresa during break time. He sits and he pretends to study math because he knows what type of person she is. She's very studious, and he's struggling with math, but he's not really studying. He's pretending to study, and at the same time he is snooping around or taking looks secretively, trying to spot her. I'm on page 36 in our literature books, the last paragraph. Then he saw her sitting. Then he saw her. She was sitting with a girlfriend under a plum tree. Victor moved to a table near her and daydreamed about taking her to a movie. When the bell sounded, Teresa looked up and their eyes met. She smiled sweetly and gathered her books. Her next class was French, same as Victor's, okay? So now they are about to encounter each other face to face. So what could you tell? What are we approaching? In which stage of plot are we heading? I'm gonna unmute you. All right, so which stage of plot are we heading to?
Miss Jumana want to enter the meeting.
She's already in the meeting. Thank you, Rahma. Zina, what part of the meeting are we? What part of the stage of the plot are we in now?
Yes. We're in the reading part. We're talking about Victor and how hard it is.
In the 5 stages of plot.
How hard it is.
We already finished
Yes.
this. Now they're about to be in the French class. They're about to face each other face to face. So which stage of plot are we in now? Kareem.
Oh, sorry. Is it because I forgot to lower my hand?
Rising action.
The what,
Sorry
Kareem?
about that. Okay.
Rising action. Rising action.
We finished the rising action. We finished all the conflicts that happened. They're about to face each other face to face in French class. Which 5 from the 5 stages of plot?
It's the climax.
Good job. Okay, guys, we are heading toward the climax. Okay, this is what it is. Okay, we're going now towards the climax of the story. All right, because now they're about to be in the same classroom. So this is what the climax is about. It's the most interesting part of the story, where something big is going to happen, and it's going to cause a change in the character. We're going to see a turnover point. Okay, so now we are heading towards the climax. The French class is the climax. Let's see. They were among the last students to arrive in class, so all the good desks in the back had already been taken. All right, this is another connection that we can make. All right, mostly students enjoy sitting in the back of the classrooms. They think that this is the more comfortable seating would be because you're further away from the teacher. You feel like it's less stressful and it's more laid back and comfortable, and you feel like you could get away with things by like talking to a friend or passing notes or doing something. Okay, so again, keep in mind, as long as we're reading the story, we're also making connections. And what does it mean to connect to the story? Who could tell me? What does it mean to make a connection to the story, or what does it mean to connect? Raise your hands, please, if you want to answer the question. What does it mean to make a connection to the story? We've been making connections since the beginning. Jumana, what does it mean to make a connection to the story, or to connect?
That there are things similar between us and them.
Bravo, Jumana. Excellent. Good girl. Okay. It means that the things that the characters are going through in the story are very similar and likely to happen to us or teenagers your age. Okay. So connecting, it's basically relating your knowledge about your own life experiences to the story. Okay, and you're connecting it basically to your life, and there's a whole chart that you're going to be required to fill out with examples, and that's why I'm stopping at each example to discuss with you, so that when you're doing your homework you're not stuck. Okay, so again, this will be an example because again it can relate to you guys. I see it that you guys like to come on the first day of class. Everybody likes to come a little bit earlier to get the perfect seat, and a lot of students prefer taking the back seat as to taking the front seats. Okay, Victor was forced to sit near the front, a few desks away from Teresa. While Mr. Bueller, all right, he's a significant character. All right, other teachers are not so significant because they don't have a role in the story. So you're not required to really mention them in the 5 stages of plot. All right, you don't need to mention Mrs. Garza, for example, or the English teacher, the portly man. Okay, if they mentioned his name in the story, the one that was asking them for a noun. Okay, I believe his name was Mr. Lucas. Okay, you need to know their names, but do you need to list them in the 5 stages of plot under exposition? I would say no. Okay, so I don't like to burden you guys in listing every single character, because we will later learn that there's a difference between a main character and a minor character. Okay, and in here I would like you to just list the characters who have a significant role in the story, or there were much detail or detail about them. Okay, so you do not have to worry about Mrs. Garza, for example, or Mrs. Gaines. These names were mentioned. Mr. Lucas, the English teacher. Again, these are unnecessary because they held no action into the story. However, Mr. Bueller is a very significant one because he plays a major role in the story and to the plot of the events of the story. So please remember his name and please list him in your exposition under the list of characters that we need to know. All right. Well, Mr. Bueller wrote French words on the chalkboard. All right. All right. Again, there's another way that we could connect, but however, now we are more advanced. We have whiteboards instead of chalkboards. This is like an older story. So chalkboards were more popular. Now things are different, and whiteboards and even smart boards are in. The bell rang, and Mr. Bueller wiped his hands, turned to the class, and said, "Bonjour." Bonjour braved a few students. Bonjour, Victor whispered. He wondered if Teresa heard him. Mr. Bueller said if the students studied hard, at the end of the year, they could go to France and be understood by the populace. The populace means the people living in France, their population. Okay, the people living in France is called the populace. So he's basically telling them that if you do really good in class, you have an advantage of learning the language, and if you get a chance to travel to France, people there will understand you. And one kid raised his hand and asked, "What's populace?" The people of France. Mr. Bueller asked if anyone knew French. Victor raised his hand, wanting to impress Teresa. The teacher beamed and said, "Très bien. Parlez-vous français?" Victor did not know what to say. The teacher wet his lips and asked something else in French. The room grew silent. Victor felt all eyes staring at him. He tried to bluff his way out by making noises that sounded French. L'ami va mi con la grandma, he said uncertainly. Mr. Bueller, wrinkling his face in curiosity, asked him to speak up. Great rose bushes of red bloomed on Victor's cheeks. That means rose bushes are red. That means his cheeks were turning red because he's very embarrassed. All right, so can someone explain to me what has Victor done right now that's causing his cheeks to turn red from embarrassment? What has he done to make him so embarrassed? Mark.
He was trying to impress Teresa, but he didn't know the answer, so he was embarrassed.
Good. In order to, while trying to impress Teresa, he thought of lying. Okay, he lied his way to impress her. He pretended that he knew French, and of course, whatever he said has nothing to do with French. It's a lot of gibberish, ununderstood words, and we can tell from the teacher's expression when he wrinkled his face, like, huh? And he told him, "Can you speak louder?" You know, the teacher is, you can tell the teacher, Mr. Bueller, he doesn't understand what this boy just said. And of course, Victor doesn't know what to do. A river of nervous sweat ran down his palms. All right, so his hands are sweating from how nervous he is. He felt awful. Teresa sat a few desks away, no doubt thinking he was a fool. Without looking at Mr. Bueller, Victor mumbled, Frenchy, oh, oui, G, in September. Mr. Bueller asked Victor to repeat what he said. Frenchy, oh, oui, G, in September, Victor repeated. Mr. Bueller understood that the boy did not know French and turned away. He walked to the blackboard and pointed to the words on the board with his steel-edged ruler. Okay, so let's stop here for a second. All right. Does the teacher think that Victor really knows French? Or does the teacher know that Victor is bluffing or lying about his French knowledge? Muhammad Walid. Kareem? Ward? Can you guys hear me? Okay, Adam? Can you guys you cannot unmute yourselves? All right, how about Adam?
Miss, we were muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. All right, how about Adam?
Yes, I can hear.
Okay, let's give Adam a chance.
Yes, I can hear.
Adam, please tell me, does Mr. Bueller know the truth about Victor or what?
Yes, he knows
He knows that
Victor doesn't know French.
Good job. Good. Good. All right, he knows. Mr. Bueller knows that Victor does not know any French and that Victor is bluffing or lying about his French knowledge. So, does Mr. Bueller embarrass Victor in front of the class or no? Judy.
Miss, I'm Adil. I'm listening with Rudy because my mobile phone is charging.
It's fine, Habibi. It's absolutely fine.
Okay.
Okay, so
Miss, can you say the question again?
question again says, the question from me to you is, did Mr. Bueller embarrass Victor or not?
No.
No, okay. As a teacher, he could have told him, what are you saying? This is not French. And he could have basically made Victor feel very embarrassed in front of the classroom. But Mr. Bueller totally reacted in a very well-mannered way, right? He didn't embarrass Victor. Say that again?
Didn't want to embarrass Victor in front of the class.
Good job, Ahmed. He did not want to embarrass Victor in front of the class, all right? So he continued with his lesson as if nothing had happened, and they continued saying La Boutou Iserlo, all right, and they sang. Victor was too weak from failure to join the class. He stared at the board and wished he had taken Spanish, not French. Better yet, he wished that he could start his life over. He had never been so embarrassed. He bit his thumb until he tore off a sliver of skin. All right, so he was very embarrassed that he was biting on his hands and his fingers until he actually hurt himself. The bell sounded for fifth period, and Victor shot out of the room, avoiding the stares of the other kids, but had to return for his math book. He looked sheepishly at the teacher, who was erasing the board.